Hey guys, Miguel here with another video, and today I have a Ghost Panic deck profile for you guys. Ghost Panic isn't famous for all the broken plays you can do with it. I personally fine-tuned this theme over the past few years to maximize its potential. With this deck I obliterated a lot of top players and it was hands seen as my signature deck, so I have a lot of pride and confidence in this one. Trust me, after watching this deck profile, you never want to go back to no hand water ever again, unless your name is Ruben Lopez. So what's this deck's main objective? Well, we want to play Ghost Panic on turn 3 and then swarm the field with a bunch of late game ninjas pretty much. To accomplish this, we have two jobs. First, we need to get our high drops in our discard pile. Once that's done, we can resurrect them with Ghost Panic. Second, we need to get Ghost Panic as soon as possible in our hand. Since there's no efficient way to directly search for it, we have to make our deck so fast that we naturally draw one copy of it eventually. This is not an easy task to accomplish for a competitive deck. It's already risky to rely on one mission card so much, and if you don't get your pieces, you will just lose due to inconsistency. But fortunately, we are blessed with an engine that discards our cards in our hand while drawing fresh cards at the same time at a very fast pace. Not only that, we also have a bunch of support cards that give us a lot of advantage when they are discarded from our hand. This engine is called Discard Water. So let's start with our 0 drops to see what this is all about. 3 10-10 Endless Arsenal. Although she isn't a water ninja, she is just perfect in this deck. At the start of our turn, we discard one card and then draw one card. But if the discarded card was not an earth card, we have to mill 3. But we actually want to mill 3 to prepare our discard pile. Also, she has weapon and is Shunin rank on turn 0, so she is a perfect wielder for various tool cards. Next we have 3 Otaru Tsuchigumo's Heir. When she is put in play, we draw one card and then discard one card. She has the same job like 10-10. We can flashpoint her every turn to keep cycling through our deck. The 2 mental power is really helpful too. Then we have 3 Jirobo Strong Will. If we discard him, he becomes a free put in play. Not only that, he also discards one of our opponent's chakra. If you want, you can growth him to discard another chakra, a really strong card. We really need to protect our early game ninja's effects, and we leave ourselves wide open if we flash Otaru, so he helps a lot to close that gap. And the last 0 drops are 2 Current Childhood. When she's put in play or removed from play, we can discard one card and then draw one card. And if the discarded card was a water ninja, we get bonus growth coins too. She's quite amazing. We obviously want to growth her ASAP to get the extra draws. And the best Karin to growth in is our first 1-drop, 3 Karin Flutages. If she was growthed, she becomes a 2-4 potentially, which is amazing. At the start of our battle phase, we can discard one water card and then draw one card. Keep in mind, you always go into battle phase regardless if you swing or not. You might think that 5 Karin are clunky, and sure, if you have really bad draws, that might happen. But don't worry about that, it's super important to draw consistently. If we miss our 1-drop, our engine will slow down drastically, which can easily cost us the game. The next 1-drop is obvious, 1 Kidomaru State 1. Everyone knows how broken he is already. But imagine him in a deck that actually wants to discard cards because of all the benefits. This dude can seal the game on turn 4 easily after reinforcing. Our first 2 drops are 2 Suigetsu Return of the Demon. He is basically a 2-drop with 6 combat, since you always want to activate his EOJ effect to draw a discard. Also, we can equip him with a free shuriken, since he has ambush, to make him even more threatening. And that was the last ninja that draws and discards. As you can see, our entire early game is only to prepare the mid game. Each of our ninjas will work hard every turn to cycle through our entire deck as fast as they can. The next 2-drop takes our engine to another level though. 2 Jugo on the Verge. Every time we discard cards from our hand due to our effects, we can draw one card. I think I don't need to explain how good he is, right? Also, by paying 3 water, we can discard him and put in play 1 Jugo State 2 from our reinforcement deck. I foreshadowed the busted mid game already, but there are actually no 3 or 4 drops in this deck. We don't need that. So our next ninja is actually a 5-drop. 1 Kisame Inexhaustible Power. This ninja is not for deploying, but actually just to sit on our hand. Because when this ninja is discarded from our hand, we can move him back to our hand. This effect generates so much card advantage, it's actually unbelievable. You will have so many cards in your hand, you generally don't know what to do with them. Fortunately, we have a bunch of tool cards we can play to make good use of them. Then we also have one Kisame left, Ring of None. Now, this is the Kisame we actually want to get in our discard pile to put him in play later. Imagine him on the field on turn 3 with his effect. Do I need to explain to you in detail how broken that is? But just to make it clear, all the ninjas from here on are to be discarded if they are in your hand. Usually it's quite frustrating if you start the game with a handful of high drop ninjas, right? But in this deck, that's not a problem at all. You can discard them constantly to draw fresh cards while preparing all of them in your discard pile. Next 5-drop is Yamato Planning. During EOJ we can recycle one mission or jutsu card from our discard pile. Another broken card to have on turn 3, right? We can start insane jutsu combos with this effect, but let's talk about that later. Also, we need a combined mental power of 12 or more to use him, but that is not an issue. I will show you in a second. Let's continue with our 6-drops for now. 1 Orochimaru Forbidden Jutsu. His effect name already sounds broken, and guess what? It actually is. He comes with 2 effects. When he's put in play, we can search our deck for a Water Ninja card with both entrance cost 5 and water symbol and move it to our discard pile. That's a free high drop in our discard, so we actually don't need to worry about our 5-drops at all. Then, during our mission phase, we can remove from game 2 Chakra to put in play one 5-drop Water Ninja from our discard pile and play. Wow, how convenient that we just prepared that card with the first effect. But to top all that, he actually has Mastery. And we cheese all that out on turn 3. I think I have everybody's attention now, because it just gets better and better from here on out. The next 6 drops are 2 Kabuto Intellectual Pursuit. During our mission phase, we can remove one of our ninjas from the game to put in play one ninja card from our discard pile. So, how do you like the idea to sack your 0-drop to put in play the busted Orochimaru we talked about just a second ago? The Orochimaru that puts in play another 5-drop. And we can just sack the Jirobo for that, and then discard the next Jirobo in our hand and have him back in play like nothing happened. And what about the 12 combined mental power we need for Yamato's effect? Well, Kabuto has 5 mental power alone, Orochimaru has 3, and Yamato himself also has 3. That's 11 guaranteed mental power. Then just pick a random 0 or 1 drop and there you go. Easy 12 mental power on turn 3. But this is a Necromancer deck and we can use Kabuto's effect every turn, so that can't possibly be everything at our disposal, can it? Of course not. Our last 6-drop is the second Hokage Supremacy. During our mission phase, we can either move one card from our discard pile to our chakra area, or move one mission card from our discard pile to our hand. Both options are really good, but usually you just grab another Ghost Panic or Vessel of Dreams. We talk about that mission in a second. And our last ninja is 1 Manda. 3-corner Deadlock. A 7-drop. When he's put in play, we can move one of our opponent's ninjas to the bottom of their deck. A very powerful snipe that usually seals the game. If that wasn't quite enough though, he also has Crush. This puts our opponent in a very difficult situation. They either pass our Manda, but that's 2 free BRs, or they block him and get potentially OV'd and we still win 1 BR. But now let's talk about our mission cards. First, we have 3 Vessel of Dreams. You can actually skip the entire first effect for a second and only focus on the last effect. When this card is discarded due to an effect, we can draw 1 card. What it basically means is, this is a free mission card. You don't need to play it and waste your 1 mission per turn. You just discard it with one of your effects and draw another card right away. I absolutely love this card because it makes my entire deck so much faster. But sometimes we just don't draw another mission and we desperately need chakra. In that case, we can still play it regularly. It's a permanent 3 mission and every time we discard 1 card due to our effects, we can remove 1 coin from this mission to draw 1 card. Sounds really good first, but keep in mind that we always lose 1 coin at the start of our turn, so it's actually hard to draw 3 cards out of this 1-drop mission. I mean, it's still possible with the right setup, but not on turn 1 anyway. Still, you at least break even in most cases. Then we have 3 Axes of Evil, another 1-drop mission that is absolutely perfect for this deck. We can search our deck for 1 card and move it to our discard pile. Then, after reshuffle, we draw 1 card. This mission helps to consistently get our high drop ninjas to our discard pile and filter our deck out. Since Orochimaru already searches our 5-drops, we only need to focus on our 6-drops, especially Orochimaru and Kabuto. Then we have 2 Friendship from Sorrow. You can also play Monster Research or Mysterious Warrior as your 2-drop mission. But Friendship can ditch any in-play non-ninja card, which is very important. Imagine our Kabuto gets Dehide for example. Or our opponent plays cards like Yota or Crying in Vain. those cards can shut down our deck's main strategy, so we need that kind of protection. Naturally, we also play our own deiterations, a staple card mission to shut down any annoying ninja. We mainly have to look out for Ino Playful and Shimon. While this deck is very cheesy and can potentially end the game on turn 3, it's still very vulnerable to certain deck types, so we need those cards to cover our weakness to some extent. Then we have one Visiting the Grave. We only need one, there's no reason to run two. It has no hand cost, so it's no problem to play this Earth mission. And it also has Revitalize. We can shuffle 5 cards from our discard pile into our deck and then draw one card. If those cards were the same card type, we draw 2 cards instead. So worst case we break even, best case we +1 our hand. The main reason why we play this is to make sure we never deck out. Our turbo engine is so fast that this mission is a welcome assurance. As long as this card is not in our battle reward area, we never need to hold back. It's also natural protection against mill decks. Usually you want to shuffle 5 mission cards back into your deck, especially if our Ghost Panic somehow ends up in our discard pile. And finally, 2 Ghost Panic. If we got this mission on turn 3 now, we can grab any ninja from our discard pile and put it in play. The best choice is Kabuto. He puts in play Orochimaru, and Orochimaru puts in play either Kisame or Yamato. You can only do that though if you manage to get both of them in your discard pile. If not, you can still put in play something else. Keep in mind, the ninja you put in play only stays for 2 turns. But you can avoid that actually if you remove your Kabuto from the game with its effect to put in play another Kabuto from your discard pile. And then you activate its effect again to put in play another ninja. I could talk all day about all the possibilities you have, but for time's sake let's just move on to our Jutsu cards. First, we play 2 Dome Prison. It drains 2 of our opponent's chakra and gives us up to 2 chakra at the same time. You can use it with any ninja and is especially good early game to prevent your opponent from playing their big jutsus. This deck has a weakness to early game snipes like Kamui. You don't want that to happen to you. If they obliterate your early game ninjas, they also obliterate your draw engine too. And it's really hard to recover from that, unless you are very lucky and draw your Ghost Panic regardless. But if Jirobo is the user, we can draw one card, and we put in play our Jirobo eventually without actually deploying him. He's our preferred user, not only because of the extra draw, but because he's meant to be our chump blocker anyway. Then we play 3 Summoning Jutsu Reanimation. This is our deck's main jutsu, but we can only play it with either Orochimaru or Kabuto. This jutsu has basically 2 effects. First, we just straight up kill one opposing ninja, and second, we can put in play one ninja from either player's discard pile. Absolutely amazing. Our main target with this is our Manda, since he has the perfect snipe effect that triggers when we summon him. And with his 9 combat, he absolutely annihilates anything that's left, and wins a free BR on top of that. If you really do that on turn 3, then you can imagine that it's GG at this point. If that wasn't enough somehow, or you just want to style on your opponent because you can, then you can just mastery your summoning jutsu with Orochimaru and play it again. With Yamato, you can also recycle your Dome Prison to get extra chakra you need for another summoning. Our last jutsus are 2 Role Reversal. This jutsu is pretty interesting. For 2 chakra, our user can use all jutsu cards, ignoring the requirements. If we roll reversal into summoning jutsu, we want to either grab Orochimaru or Kabuto from our discard pile to swarm our field even without Ghost Panic. I didn't like the idea to only rely on Ghost Panic, and adding 2 roll reversal was the best decision I ever made. No one really expects that. Especially earlier on in the game, when they don't have enough chakra to react to that, it becomes absolutely devastating. Our last cards are 3 Ayame, a client that works as a free mission. She accelerates our deck and generates additional chakra. There is no reason to not put free cards in your deck. Now that we are done with our main deck, we can talk about the reinforcement deck. First, we have 1 Kidomaru State 2. He is absolutely broken. You swarm the field with all your Hydrop ninjas and then you deploy your Kidomaru on top of that, reinforce him, and seal the game with this effect by discarding 1 card from your hand to make one of your opponent's ninjas unable to be sent out to battle. Doesn't matter which ninja they pick. Then we have 1 Kidomaru State 2, game over. He is really good if you need to recycle your Ghost Panic. For example, if it got negated on your first try or it accidentally got in your discard pile somehow. But of course, it's not only restricted to Ghost Panic. In fact, you can recycle any card you need with him. Next is Jugo State 2. He is really powerful and can snipe ninjas with his Desperation effect. Then of course, we also have Jirobo State 2. In most cases I don't even get to turn 6 to play him, but he is good to have if something goes wrong. And reinforcing a 0 drop into a 6 drop is always good. The next reinforcement is an interesting case, Kisame Hoshigaki. Usually there is no need to reinforce it since our regular Kisame is already broken enough. But sometimes it's a good thing to do, because then you can use your Orochimaru's effect again to put in play Yamato, since our Kisame is not a 5 drop anymore. And the last reinforcement is Kabuto's Sage Mode. He is really powerful and usually worth to reinforce into, because when you are in turn 6 you usually don't need Kabuto's necromancing anymore. Instead you can just make your opponent's ninjas into your puppets instead. If you used Kisame to move up your turn marker before, you can easily afford to go down with your turn marker. Now let's look at our tool cards. First, one kunai, staple. There's nothing much else to say here, other than it's our only tool card for turn 1 and we don't want to miss out on that really. Then one barrier tag. We do have some earth cards, so why not include the tool that protects our clients' permanent missions and other tool cards. Our next tool is one shuriken, basic 2 drop, but really juicy with our Suigetsu, but I already mentioned that earlier in the video. We also have one Flak Jacket in our inventory. Really good for Tenta to make her a 5-2 on block, but also for our other high-ranked ninjas. Next is one Thunderblade, the perfect tool for our Jonin ninjas. It gives them execute, which is really devastating. And if our second Hokage is the wielder, he gets +3 as a bonus. And our last and most powerful tool card, one Kusanagi. The wielder gets +3, but we naturally equip our Orochimaru with this tool to get the extra effect. During our EJ we can injure one opposing ninja. Really powerful, but we have to wait until turn 5 to play this sword. And then we have one white rage attack as our only forbidden jutsu in this deck. We can either play it with Orochimaru or Kabuto, but not earlier than turn 7. But you might be able to play it more than you think you would if you spam Kisame's effect. It makes every one of our opponent's ninjas standby, which basically means GG if they don't stop you. And that was my deck profile. I didn't go too much into detail with every single card, but you will learn by playing. If you master this deck and also pay special attention to your side deck to cover this deck's weaknesses, then you have a crazy, strong, stupid, cheesy deck that can absolutely obliterate anything in just 3 or 4 turns consistently. Don't forget to leave a like and give your feedback in the comment section below. With that being said, goodbye and take care.